I am Winking Will. I am the clan chief of the Red Rowan Reivers. Behind me, we have Dog Fiddle, who is playing with his musket. And we have Soap Tom, my second. Now, our names probably sound a little strange to you. Let me explain a little bit about who we are. We are border reavers. We are basically land pirates, if you will. We're criminals. We steal cattle and sheep. We take hostages for ransom. If it's a criminal activity, we probably invented it. The names that we use have a purpose. Today, you hear gangsters use their street names. That's what our nicknames are. There's a reason for this. If you don't know who I am, and I steal your camera, how can you sign a complaint against me? You don't know my name. I could be anybody. So did I really take it then? I don't think I did. That's how that works. It's very effective in the period. There are dozens of accounts of somebody being in jail while somebody of the same name is all bleeding a raid somewhere. It gets very confusing for that reason. What we're going to be demonstrating to you is the matchlock musket. This is by far the most common of the firearms in the period. This is so named for the piece of match. It's burning cord in their hand. It's caught in a hemp rope that's been soaked in gunpowder. It burns very hot, but very slowly. This method of ignition is the longest serving method of ignition ever invented for a firearm. It is also one of the most reliable. Matchlocks will appear about 14 feet. They will be being used somewhere in Europe or in the colonies of the New World well into the 18th century. The first step that we're going to do, now, being border reavers, unlike regular soldiers who learn how to use these from illustrated drill manuals, we're not that fancy. So, one of our more experienced reavers will teach the new reavers how to use these weapons. Very often that will fall to Soap Tom here. I am far too busy as a leader to be bothered with such a menial task. But in order to illustrate to you how this would work, we're going to do it step by step. The first step is he's going to pick up his musket. He's going to open his can cover and clean out the can. He needs to make sure there's no dirt or debris left over from the last shot in there. Then he's going to handle his prime and prime the piece. Priming powder is a very, very fine gunpowder. It's easily ignited. Now he's going to close his can, and he needs to get any of that priming powder that might be on top off of there, because that is our safety. We don't want this weapon to go off prematurely. So to that end, he's either going to give it a quick flip, or he's going to blow and get all that powder off. Next, he needs to get access to the muzzle. In those fancy drill manuals, they give it a term, pass about your beats. We're not that fancy. So I'm just going to tell him, hey, stick that thing in your side, so just like that. Now he's going to take one of those wooden bottles that are hanging across his chest. That's his bandolier. Each of those wooden bottles is filled with enough gunpowder for one shot from the muzzle. He's going to pour the contents down the barrel. If we were loading a round, which I'm going to emphasize again, we will not be firing live rounds because we all like you people. We want you to go home and tell other people about us. But if we were, now is when he would either spit one out of his mouth or he would take one from the leather pouch at his side and drop it down the barrel. He's going to now take that scouring stick and pack home all of that.
No farther than here, please.
Nice
no farther than here, please. Thank you.
Well, they shouldn't have to stick and slide.
I know.
Now he's going to give that match a good blow, and he's going to cock and try his match. He's going to put it to the action to make sure that match is hitting a spot that you like, so it will set off that powder underneath. Now that he's ready, he's going to face a safe direction. I'm going to give a little warning. Have a care! He's going to fire. That's how the matchbox musket works. You can show your applause. Now he does have hanging at his side a wheel-lock pistol. Unfortunately, wheel-locks in the period have an unreliable reputation. It has not improved any since then. Unfortunately, it is not something we will be unable to demonstrate that. But he has left it there so you can actually see what they look like. Now what my two Reivers are going to do is demonstrate to you a little bit of how they were tactically employing their muskets. We would have ridden up to wherever our target was and dismounted, and now we're going to approach on foot to hopefully catch our opponents by surprise. Being that they're not regular soldiers, they're not going to necessarily wait for each other to deliver that nice volley fire. They're going to fire whenever they're ready. Notice, as they are reloading, the butt of these weapons never touches the ground. Even if they were regular soldiers, they're expected to be able to move while they are reloading. That concludes our demonstration.